Josh just mentioned that we match, so yeah. All I need is a little black hat.
As we sat down here, let's see how it looks. Here you go. What do you think, guys?
Looking cute. I look like Ruby. Hello, welcome back. We've been gone for a minute. I've been gone for a minute. Y'all don't really know Josh much. We just came on today to tell you guys a little bit of what has happened in the last month. So do you want to give an overview of some of the big things that have happened over the last month?
It's been a pretty crazy month. We started the month thinking that we would be buying a specific house. In order to do that, we needed to prepare our house to get it on the market. I was working my normal job and Kristen was home working her normal job of
killing myself,
taking care of our three girls, but then also at the same time preparing the house to sell. I felt like I was on vacation because she was definitely working twice as hard as I was.
Absolutely not.
But
Josh was like handling the girls. He says I'm handling the girls. No, he's like taking them to work with him so that I can have time to prepare our house. We were working ourselves into the ground. It was bad.
It was a pretty crazy first few weeks for sure.
The story behind this initial house that we were looking at, that all of this was for, all of this was for, was there was a girl that I found through YouTube actually. This girl who had this great house, awesome style. I found out that she not only lived in my city, she lived in my neighborhood. Not only was she in my neighborhood, but she lived in a house that we had tried to buy 8 years ago. Her and I had started chatting over social media over the last couple years. And when I found out that she was gonna be selling her house, we talked about it. She said that she wanted us to get it. And so we made the huge decision to sell our own house in order to be able to buy their house, which is a huge deal for me because I like don't want to leave. Like, I love our house so much. We've like considered even building onto it because we love it so much. This was going to be an opportunity to be in a house that was like, in our minds, was like the perfect house for like a forever home. Yeah. We scrambled, as many of you know, to get our whole house put together and cleared out. And then the day that our house went on the market, I left. I went to Cabo with my sister and I left all three girls with Josh, my hero. Stand up a little bit taller, babe. I left them all with him. He was taking care of them, working his job full time, taking them to work with him, and also selling our house, staying with my parents. He would like come in at night to mop the floors from the ice and salt that had been brought in. So he did this all with me in Cabo. So I was thinking that Cabo was gonna be this like relaxing trip with my sister. It was not. I was like riddled with anxiety.
Yeah, it was stressful. During
that same time while I was gone, the new house also went up for sale. We had checked with them multiple times about what the asking price was going to be, and they told us multiple times, and then they wound up listing it for 15 over. And so we're like, all right, well, we had a little bit of wiggle room built in, and a lot of that is gone now. We wound up visiting the house a couple times. We were so excited about it. We were praying about it like crazy. We gave it our best offer, and we even said that we would go in 10 over our best offer. Unfortunately,
we didn't get it.
We did not get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was some...
It was hard.
Yeah, it was not good.
Because we had already sold our house. So the part that Kristen left out was that we accepted an offer on our house, and the offer was contingent upon us getting a new house, but we still accepted an offer. A really nice young girl that is buying our current house. She's super excited about it.
Yeah, if she's on here, hello.
Yeah, hey. You know, so it was a lot of emotions about, okay, well now do we back out of selling our current house or do we keep looking? I feel like with the wisdom of our parents and our realtor, thanks Tyler, we decided, well, we might as well keep looking. There was a lot of grace all around from the girl that's buying our house.
I know, I felt so bad because in my heart, I was like, that's it, we're staying here forever. Like, let's give her the call. But then we're like, oh my gosh, like we just got our hearts broken. We don't want to break somebody else's heart.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, and do we really want to go through this whole process again?
I was ready to just go through it again. I'm like, I don't care. Like, I'm staying here. Like,
Kristen's
forget
like,
all the work
I'll go to Mexico again, and you stay here. Just kidding. So we spent the next 10 days after that all happened.
Depressed. I was hardcore disappointed.
It was really hard to not get what we really thought was the answer, but I have good news. Our answer is hardly ever what God's answer is. And his answers are always better than our answers.
Yeah.
Within 10 days, we looked at a handful of houses. Well, after a lot of frustration and again, disappointment with what was on the market and in our budget, after a little bit of an argument the night before, Kristen had, while I was at church working, she sent me a text asking if she could send me one more house.
I was so leery to send this text because he was like done with me.
Yeah,
he was very frustrated by the way that I was handling the house buying process because I'm what you call intolerant. If something just does not feel right on any level, I'm just like, absolutely not. Like, we are spending the greatest amount of money we will ever spend on anything. And I would rather like be cramped in this little house than be in a house that I feel any type of reservation about. And so that was really frustrating to him because he's like, babe, you know our budget and you know the amount of kids we have. So in order to get an old, nice house in a good neighborhood and a safe neighborhood in our price range with the amount of bedrooms that we need was basically impossible. Like, there was just absolutely nothing out there. So Omaha is a river town, and on the other side is Council Bluffs, which is like a little small area. It's not necessarily where we wanted to end up, but as I started zooming out on Zillow, I saw that there was a small town right outside of Council Bluffs, and there was a little house that popped up over there. And so Josh and I had been discussing.
We've been that too.
We've been discussing living in a small town outside of Omaha for the whole time we've been looking. We've never said like we have to live in Omaha, but we do want to live close to my family. The town that we found is probably about 30 minutes from my parents and like 25 to 30 minutes away from Josh's work. But the house that we wound up finding literally has everything we could ever hope for.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like I said, I mean, God's answers to our prayers are always better than we would ever think. So this house not only meets what we need as a family as far as room, but it also more so fits the aesthetic that we like. It gives us space. My family is somewhat close. They're a few hours away for the first time in my adult life. So it's nice that they now will have a spare bedroom that they can come and stay in and visit comfortably. And then on top of that, it has a nice big yard that our girls would be free to play in. There's a tree house.
There's a view.
There's a tree house. So, you know, my childhood dreams are finally coming true. It's the craziest blessing I could have imagined, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's all has happened within not even a month, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just goes to prove that God is faithful, you know, and he's good to us.
Yeah.
Sorry, y'all. I'll preach to you all day because I love God's goodness and his faithfulness.
Honestly, we were just looking for a 3-bedroom house, and if we could have had 4 bedrooms, it would have been awesome. Such a blessing.
Yeah.
But y'all, this house has 5 bedrooms. Like, we don't even know what to do with all that. Truthfully, there was a list of things that I have been hoping for since the first time we were looking for a house. We got almost none of them, even though we love this house so much. I'm gonna put a picture of this house up. I'm gonna put it right over Josh's face right here. But there was a list of things that I really wanted to have moving into this house that we're currently in. And we actually wound up giving up almost all of them except for the wood floors, just because we loved the light in this house. It has so many south-facing windows, and it just is so bright when you walk in. So the first time we did house hunting before we even got this house, I said, I wanted wood floors, big trees, a fireplace, a covered front porch, like all of this kind of stuff. We literally got none of it. But you guys, this house that we're looking at, has the covered front porch, it has the wood floors, it has 5 bedrooms, which is crazy. It has wood burning stove, which I'm calling the fireplace, but we're super excited. It's an old farmhouse that was built in the year 1900, and they've kept so much of the original character. Right now, in our church, we're talking about sacrifice, and there's that, I have it on here. Okay, it says, very truly I tell you, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds. I remember we started talking about this even before we took this leave of absence, if you want to call it. Before we found out about the original house, I was telling Josh, I was having like full-on anxiety. Like I could feel it rush through my body all the time. I was so stressed about it. At our church, there's this big wall that they're doing during this time when we're all doing this fast, basically, of what people are praying for. And I wrote this prayer on the wall. I can tend to really hold back when it comes to like what we're praying for, because first of all, God never answers the way that I want him to. Not that I expect him to. Yeah. God never answers the way that I expect him to. I decided to write out this like specific prayer, and I even wrote that on there. I was like, this is like really vulnerable because I'm very afraid that this isn't going to work out. But what I'm praying for is a house. And I didn't say it was this specific house or anything, you know, but I was, in my mind, I was thinking, no, like I want this specific house. It took a lot for me to even write that down, but I wrote it like probably 12 hours before we found out that we did not get the house. After I put that on there, I was just like, I need to go like scribble that out. Like, you know what, I'm done here. Like, this didn't work out. Like, this is embarrassing because I have like told so many people about like this house that we were wanting. It was so crazy. Just the whole detailed story that I'm not going to get into of like how it came around for us. It just seemed like it could only be God that would bring us to that house, you know, like that it was like for us. And so in my mind, I was thinking about that. I did not think he was going to provide another house, especially after the week after that we were looking, and it was slim pickings and it was not good out there. And so I was just feeling so discouraged. I did not expect God to bring this house into our, like, I had no idea that there was even something that was like this that would even be in our price range. But the fact that it's in this tiny town made it available to us.
So like Kristen, she had written this prayer down the night before we found out. And the day that we found out, actually, we got the text message while I was actually saying this to our entire church.
I didn't tell you because I thought you might be.
But I was talking to our church about God's faithfulness and how he cares for us in the details, and that he provides and is a good father. And I'm telling our church this and meaning it and being expectant for him to do this. And in my mind, it's with that particular house, to walk off stage and have the text message on my phone saying, hey guys, you didn't get the house. It was just like, man, do I need to go back out there and you know, say, hey, not always, you know, like, it's okay if he doesn't.
We have the mindset of like, if he doesn't, we love this place, you know, like it's.
Yeah, we love our house. We're grateful for what we have.
We're grateful.
I'm writing a lot right now. A lot of what I'm writing about is God's faithfulness. And so it was really hard. It put a damper on that, to be honest, and be kind of vulnerable with it. But even through that, you know, my prayer was that, okay, God, like, I know that these things are true, whether it was the way that I thought it should be or not. I trust you, and I know that you care for us. So the Bible says that if we, as just normal people, basically know how to give good gifts to our children, how much more does our Father in heaven
I kept thinking about that one.
Gifts.
I was like, well, whatever.
And it's true. It really is true. Even if we don't see it, even if we don't know it to be happening, I view it as this series of events happened so that we would actually come to the house that we came to at the end of the day. The reality is that the house that we wound up with is way better than this other house. I don't say that lightly. This other house, the first house was great, but the house that we wound up getting, it blows my mind. It hits so many check marks for what is important to me as a husband and as a dad. I want my kids to be able to play and be adventurous and safe at the same time.
And walk to their friend's house, like all of that. But even like, this is gonna sound so silly, but it's not silly because like the Lord knows my heart. But the aesthetic of the house that we were first looking at, it's gorgeous. It's an old Victorian home that was built in 1907. But this one is an old farmhouse that was built in the year 1900. It's funny because even the other house was a little bit more ornate, which is cool, but I feel like we're a little bit more simplistic. And so just the fact that this house, even just design wise, I feel like is more of what I would have hoped for in a house anyway. Yeah. Or just the fact that, just the fact that houses right now are going for like 40,000 over asking, like crazy. And we just did asking price. We wrote a letter and they gave it to us.
But again, another detail with that, my opinion is that there were a few things that went into it that were in our favor. The first thing being that we already had our house sold.
Yeah. So which we wouldn't have had
it sold had we not gone through all of these other steps for the first house. So we had our house sold already. Wasn't contingent upon us selling ours. Then the other thing, I think that Kristen's letter, it expressed who we were, who our kids are, why this house in particular was important to us and why we wanted it. Even just in those two practical things, I think that shifted the weight of why we got the house.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about the favor of the Lord.
The favor of the Lord. Oh man. Anyway, so that's what we've been up to for the last month. It's been high highs and low lows.
That's true. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't feel like I've had this much anxiety about any decision ever. It's been hard on us. I feel like probably that week that we were low, I think we thought more in that week than we have like in the entire last year all put together. It was really hard. I'll end this with this scripture that I was speaking about when I was in my low lows. Okay, so this is the scripture that I went in to this whole situation with, which is part of the reason why I was like, what is going on? But it's Proverbs 13:12, and it says, hope deferred makes the heart sick, but a dream fulfilled is a tree of life. And so I was praying this even before we found out about us not getting the first house. I was thinking like, hopefully we don't have hope deferred makes the heart sick. Hopefully we just have the dream fulfilled. But just kind of going into that, the seed dying also, like not only was our hope deferred and it made our heart sick, but like I literally felt like this dream that we had for our family, it literally had to die. Like not only did we not get the house, but we looked at multiple houses afterwards and it was just like, no, absolutely not, no. And it like made our relationship feel sick. It just like, we all physically got sick. Like the girls and I literally all had fevers for that whole week. I was like barely functioning. Josh was like carrying our whole family. But literally, like, I really felt like this seed, like this hope, like died. Like it had to fully die for God to bring this to us. Anyway, so would you like to
go on now here?
With that, thank you so much for following along with us today. I know this video is long, but if you'd like to follow along with the process of us moving out of this house, moving into the new house, we will be documenting a lot of it here, or if you want, you can go follow me over on Instagram. I'll put my Instagram down here. You can follow me on Instagram at Kristen K. Hoff. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Go ahead and subscribe if you want to keep following along.
Like it,
share it.
Notifications on.
And you guys, my husband was with me today. Aren't you so happy? Let us know in the comments if you want to see more of him.
Okay.
We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye.